Whether you think you want to learn any theory or not, and whether you think you'd rather just play rather than study anything, there's going to come a time where you have to learn a few of the essentials and a few theoretical components of playing music. Lately, we've been having this question come up in our class: what's the difference between a chord and a note? It was never actually phrased like that, there was just misconceptions about it, and we had to clear them up. When ukulele players start, they're generally playing chords. They'll fret a note, like the C note, and strum several strings. When you're strumming several strings and sounding several pitches at once, you're getting a chord. What we mean by a chord is generally a triad. It's a three-note chord, which has the root, which is the first note, and we start counting it as 1. 1, 2, 3. We use the third note for instance, in C, we'd call C the 1, and we'd count alphabetically, C to D to E. So we would have an E note in the chord because we have a 1 and a 3, and we have a 5. So C, D, E, F is the 4, we're not using it. G is the 5. So C, E, and G are the three notes in this C chord. I'm going to explain that a little bit further later on. A note, on the other hand, is a single pitch. It's what occurs when you play a single string. Whether that's an open string like G or C or E or A, or whether you fret the note like C, if you play only that note, only that string, you get a single pitch, and it's one note. One note, a single pitch, is what's used when you sing. As you play a melody, you play one note at a time. Ode to Joy is an example we use all the time. We use the note E, and again, then an F, then a G. The melody is one note at a time, occurring sequentially. E, E, F, G. The chords that we strum are the harmony to that song. You would strum a C chord while you sang the pitches E, E, F, G. Da, 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 da. Those pitches while you harmonize. Da, 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 da. I'm singing single notes. They're not necessarily good notes, but those are the notes. That's a melody, one pitch at a time. I'm strumming the chords, the harmony. A couple of things that we learned early on were the names of your open strings. The G, the C, the E, and the A. Good children eat apples. When you play each note, each string separately, you're getting one pitch, you're getting notes, G, C, E, and A. We then learned that if we raise the pitch by fretting it, we can get a new note. On the C string, we can fret a D note. It's higher than the open C, so it goes up the alphabet to D. C to D, the next string is E. If I fret the first fret, I've shortened the string, making it a little higher pitched, it's F. The third fret makes it a G. The third fret makes it a G. After G in music is A. That's the open first string. Second fret is the B. Third fret is the C. So this single note, if I put my finger on C and pluck it, just that note, I get a C note. But you've also learned this picture of a chord. You're holding that same C note and you're strumming. These O's are open strings and you're playing them, and that's a C chord. In chords, we often don't specify. We'll just write over the words or over the notes C, presuming that you know we want a C chord and not just a C note. When I play the C chord or the C triad, I'll often ask people, what notes are you playing here? And they'll look at it and figure it out and go, well, I'm playing a C. I'm like, well, what else are you playing? Like, just C, but you're strumming all these other strings. What are the names of the strings? Well, this one's G and C and E, and this one's C. So therefore, you're playing G's and C's and E's in this chord. That is not obvious to people. For some reason, the opens just don't register in our minds easily. They don't count to us. Whether we're playing scales or melodies or chords, we just sort of think of opens as blanks, but they are notes. So in a C chord, we get the note C. I get one up high and one on the third string open. The E, the open string, second, and the G, the open fourth string. So I get C, E, G. Strum them and I get the chord C, or the triad. Because it's a C chord, that's our root. That's where we count the alphabet from. So we start counting on C. So C is the first pitch we want in a C chord. If you looked at your scale, you'd see that E is the third pitch we have. C, D will not be part of our chord, and E will be part of our chord. So we skip a note and take the next note. So C is the first note of the chord. We skip the D, we use the E. We skip the F, and we use the G. So we get the first and the third and the fifth of the scale starting on C, and that's a C chord. That formula is the formula for all of your triads. They're all the same. So you memorize the numbers of 1, 3, and 5. What pitches make up a chord? People will start thinking of their letters, and I'll say, no, I want the numbers. And they'll go D, F, no, the number, 1, 3, 5. So first, third, and fifth makes up the chord. What then if I wanted a G chord? Where do I start counting? G is going to be 1. So what's 3? Oh, C. C is 3. A, B, C. Yes, if we started on A. But in the G chord, we're starting on G. So we go G. A comes after G in music. So G, A is the second. We're not using it. B is the third. G, A, B is third. C is 4. We're not using it in a G chord. D is 5. We are using that. So the G chord has G, B, and D. I'll have that student play that chord and then figure those notes out to confirm it. This is a lot of fun because it's not obvious at all. And when it clicks, and it will click, but maybe not the first time, you'll see that this formula, 1, 3, and 5, starting on a G, gives you this G chord that you memorized just by fingers. So I'll ask you, what notes are you playing there? Usually, you're pretty good at finding these. That second fret, I got a B, okay? And I've got a third fret. Well, that's this G. And this second fret is D. All right, G, B, and D. And also this G, though. At this point, some people will complain to me. You said triads or chords are 3 notes. I'm playing 4. Why are you lying to me? Well, they are 3 notes. We don't count the same pitch twice, whether it's in 1 octave or not. In this chord, the C chord, we had this C open and the high C. You're not going to count that twice when you're making up your formula for the chord. We only have a C, an E, and a G. We have another C, we have it repeated, but still the pitch C is represented. Same with this G. We have the open G here and the 3rd fret G, but we're not counting them twice. So we have G, B, and D, G, B, and D, 1, 3, and 5. They're not in that order on your ukulele. This is the other thing that can confuse people. They can start counting from here and go, well, I've got G and D, so the second note is a D. What we have on stringed instruments is we're forced to use different inversions to get all of our notes within one area. On a piano, you can lay them down sequentially, G and then B and then D. If I'm on a C chord, I can move over to C and then E and then G. On ukulele, we can't line them up like that in the proper order every time, so we have to grab them in whatever order we can. We'll see that shifted around again on the F chord. Using this formula, I would ask you what notes are in an F chord. So you count from what? A? No, you count from F. F is the root of the chord, so it's the 1. F, G would be the second note then, alphabetically starting on F. A, B, C, D, E, F is 1, G is 2, it doesn't go in our chord. A is 3, it does go in our chord. F, G, A, B is 4, it doesn't go in our chord, but C is 5 and it does. So an F chord is F, A, C. You can play the chord that you memorized early on to confirm that. You've memorized the F chord. Notice we just put the letter F over it. We don't tell you you're playing a chord, but you will know that from the diagram or the context. So an F chord has these notes. Once again, I can ask the student, what notes are you playing? If they're astute, they'll look at their picture and they'll figure out, well, on this G string, I'm playing a 2nd fret. The note that comes after G is A. So I've got A's and I've got F's. There's the F of the F chord. So A and F makes an F chord, right? No. F is our 1. A is our 3, but we're playing this open third string as well, the C. So we have F, A, and C. Oh, and another A. So A is represented twice this time. So here we have the F, the A, and the C. The 1, the 3, and the 5. And another A up here. This brings up more issues. The reason this question came up was a student had asked how come an F6 and a D minor 7 are drawn the same way. When you start to try to explain that issue, then you find out you have to go back further and further until we describe exactly why a chord is what it is. So you want to repeat these ideas and write them down. When you're studying things, if they're new, write them down and practice memorizing them. When you've had a lesson, go back to your information half an hour or an hour later. It's well known that we actually forget just about 50% of what we've learned within a couple of hours of having heard it. By the next day, we've forgotten 75%. So what you need to do is actually go dig that out of your memory as soon as possible. It is stored immediately, but you need to build the ability to draw it out of your memory and build a route to that information. You do that most efficiently if you do it within a couple of hours of having learned it. Then review the next day. Don't wait 3 or 4 days to try and review your material. You won't even know what your notes are trying to communicate to you, let alone remember the context or what was going on with them.